Okay, the next item is Petition 1247, and it's by Stuart McKenzie, calling on the Parliament to urge the Government to introduce a McKenzie Friend facility in Scottish courts as a matter of urgency. Again, we've had the petition in front of us. I know that there's one, I think both members that are still with us. Is it just Margo for this particular item? Okay, Margo, could you maybe very briefly on this one?
Well, thank you, Convener, and I will be brief given the lateness of the hour. I assume that the committee will have received Consumer Focus Scotland's report on this, and all I would say is that I support Consumer Focus Scotland's overview. I should put on record that I have sympathy with the Lord President of the Council's desire to try and ensure that the Scottish court system is as professional and as equitable as possible. But I think he perhaps is too protective, and he is ignoring the evidence of 30 years' practice in England and Wales of Mackenzie's friends in the court. I think the case is proved, although it's not within our own jurisdiction, I don't think we would behave much differently in the situation, which is what I imagine the Lord President is concerned about. I think that there should be a strong presumption in favour of a Mackenzie friend, and that should be enshrined in primary legislation. I think, though, that there should not be an absolute right to this, and that a judge or sheriff should retain the discretion to determine whether or not the normal conduct of the court is going to be hindered or harmed in any way. It should be enhanced by having a Mackenzie friend there. Finally, I'll keep my remarks very brief and say that I think the remarks made by Consumer Focus Scotland regarding the rights of audience to a plethora of lay people in the Scottish courts could do with some examination to see if it could be rationalised and made more understandable. I sincerely hope that the committee will not discontinue this petition, because it would enhance, I believe, the rights of litigants in the Scottish courts.
Thanks very much, Margo. I think we'd like to try and pursue some matters still, so I think the inclination is still to continue to reassure you on that one. Okay, Bill, very quickly, and if anyone is...
Yes, I think we should continue. I think we should write to the Lord President of the Court of Session asking for a response to the concerns raised in submission by which magazine, specifically in paragraphs 4 to 7, the Petitioner, particularly points 1.1 and 1.2, and Consumer Focus Scotland. And I also think we should ask the Lord President, will each of these concerns be addressed in the forthcoming Act of Sederant that he intends to bring forward? And if not, why not?
Okay, so I think we want to continue. We'll explore those matters, and I know it's a quick way of dealing with the petition, but we do want to progress that. Okay? So thanks for your time. Sorry, Nigel.
Yeah. Can I just say, sorry, I know time is against us, but I think there are sort of a couple of issues here which we might just try and tease out. First of all, I think it's fair to say that the certificate, as I see it, is not a certificate that says anything other than I understand that this is an important place to be, and I understand I'm in court, and there are some responsibilities of receiving information and how I conduct myself. It's not as equally, I think people seem to be suggesting that the experience is a kind of tick box exercise that says if you haven't got enough experience you can't be there. That's not my reading of it. It's simply, as we all know, as anybody's ever organised a meeting, if you know the skills of the people in the room, and particularly you know the folk who might advise somebody else, then that's just generally helpful to the court. So I think there's a certain amount of confusion perhaps in some of the comments, and I just want to tease that out. Can I just say that I do have one real concern, and that comes from reading an email from Families Need Fathers, who point out that, as I had suspected, there are in fact professional Mackenzie's friends kicking around. I don't know whether that's a good or a bad thing in principle, but I do note that the Lord President is suggesting that the lay assistant should not be paid in any way at all. Now, it seems to me if that's a line he wants to maintain, then people will probably find their way around it, and I want to make sure that we bring that to his attention as well.
Margo.
It's suggested by the Consumer Focus that a simple question asked by the judge or sheriff, are you being paid for this? And if the person tells a portkey, he's committed perjury and he can be put away for that.
If I may, convener, if he happens to be paid for by the local Consumer Advice Bureau, then yes, he's being paid, but no, he's not being paid by the client, and this is
interest in the outcome. Sorry, convener. He will have an interest in the outcome, which would count him out. That it has actually been covered, and you're quite right. It is dealt with quite simply.
I don't want to turn this into a rumple of the Bailey moment, so just showing my age there a wee bit, but in deference to others, you know. Okay, so can we maybe continue this and explore the issues that members have raised? Okay, thanks for that.